Okay, good to be back with you, Marcus, for this topic special where we're going to talk about what is the best investment. Is it property or is it stocks?
Ding ding, round one, and Marcus comes out. Right, what? Okay, go on.
Yeah, so we both do both.
Yeah.
I think you do more of stocks.
I do more stocks and I do properties. I think you do more properties and you do stocks.
Yeah.
But by the way, are we talking about stocks, like stock market, or is it like trading and investing, like trading?
Well, I think the question people are asking is, what do I want to invest in? Should I be investing in real estate, property, or should I be investing in the stock market? Especially.
Well, okay, but for me, you see, it's not about the stock market. It's about gold and also silver, ETFs, and it's about cryptocurrencies. For me, it's investing in assets that are on an exchange that move up and down, as opposed to property, which is solid.
Good. Well, let's give people the bonus that they deserve, which is we talk about all of that stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's cool is your strategy that you taught me a while back of investing in stocks has been very, very useful. Not just the strategy itself. The main one I like is the investment strategy, which is the value cost averaging, making sure I always invest in to have my average price at the best possible rate. So
the question is, did you do it in the crash? Did you do it in the March crash?
I actually took everything out before then.
Okay. So you can do that, can you? You can just like sell everything just on a dime, can you? When it comes to
Are you trying to make a point there?
That's interesting. All right, so you can just kind of sell stuff, and then after the crash is finished, you could just buy back, just like that, just like that.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a good benefit, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, is that a benefit? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, of course it is. It's very liquid. You can buy and you can sell.
Yeah, I love this. You argue my case for me. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean,
in and out as many times as you like.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I suppose you need to know a little bit of what you're doing, but yeah.
No, but that's the same with everything, right? I mean, I'm just assuming that people. I mean, are we assuming that people either know about property or they know about it, trading, or that they know nothing?
Well, I think we'd have to define what people class as I know.
Well, that as well. But anyway, so let's just say, the average person wanting to make some money, and who's got, a certain amount of time, I think one of the benefits that I like is that it is so liquid. I can literally wrap it up in an ISA, and I can put 20,000 in a year. If I lived with somebody else, that's 20 plus 20. If I have an 18-year-old, that's 60. I can put in every single year. I can grow that to millions, and I never pay any tax on that. But what I like about it is if there is any kind of an emergency, I can just take it out. Within 24 hours, it's in my bank account, and I like that. And I also like the property. That's why I do the property.
Yeah. So if there's an emergency, can you always take it out no matter what's happening? Like there's always someone there, because we mentioned at the beginning of this, we talked about other investing assets like cryptocurrency.
That has to be, because I wouldn't be in something where like you bought a property in Spain and now you're stuck there for 20 years. I just don't want stuff like that. So sorry, I didn't mean that. I know that was a property example. I didn't mean that, but that is the one I sometimes use, because like people can sell it now for a price, but not at the price that they want, and because there are these things called market makers, they literally make the market. And in what
we talk about stocks.
Yeah, stocks, cryptos. It really doesn't matter. Yeah, the stuff we invest in is liquid, and you can get out any stage. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting that you say about, you can get out, but if you've got a property, then you're gonna have to, you're kind of stuck with it. Because what I like about what you taught me about investing in stocks is you're only really going to go into the things where like it's backed by a strategy. So for example, one of the things that you said, never invest in anything that could go to zero.
Right.
Yeah, especially if you're actually investing. Don't invest in anything that goes to zero. So because obviously in the stock aspect, what I love about property is the fact that I'm not going to go into the deal without knowing how either I get out of the deal on the back end, getting my money out, or whether I'm selling, or what I would do if something happened, like the market changed, the house prices went up, down, sideways, rental.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. I think most people, when they invest, they kind of always think about the profits. So when we're investing in stocks, we always think about, okay, but where are you going to get out? This is trading specifically with the stop loss, which is another reason I really like it. So if it goes down too much, it just gets me out automatically. I'm not even there. I just like the idea of that, you know. But most people don't. They don't think about how much loss they can have and where they're going to get, or how much profit. So they just, I had a webinar yesterday and somebody said, oh, I just bought Bitcoin. Is that good? It's like,
they asked afterwards.
Well, that's a good point as well. Exactly. Why would you ask afterwards? It's like, have you not done your research, you know? But it's like, well, where's your strategy for getting out if it drops too low, and what's too low for you? And what's your strategy when you're in profit, when you're, let's say 50, you've made 50%, which is easy on Bitcoin, right? When do you get out? And they was, oh, I don't know, you know, and it's just like, oh man, you know. So yeah, I think that's the downside to stocks, is that it's too easily available. Like anybody over the age of 18 can open up an account and can literally put money in, and they'll be trading tomorrow, which should be a bonus. But actually it's a negative, because anybody can do it and they don't know what they're doing, you know. That's a minus point, definitely.
Yeah, actually, it's a great point you made, because like instantly you can be in doing it.
Totally.
Yeah, and what is also cool as well is, from my experiences, you can actually play the game, although the emotion is not there, because if you're on a demo account, you can actually play the real game, but without the emotion, which in my opinion is the tough bit about that market. Yeah. Not just when it's going down.
Because anything that moves, right? Anything that moves, and it's not just down, it's up. You know, when people are up, they're like, oh, what do I do now? Or when it's down, it's like there's a slightly different emotion there, but it's still an emotion. And you're right, in the sense that because something has so much volatility, which I think is a good thing once you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, the emotions are going to kill you, because it comes down. Well, let's take that example, right? You happen to be out of the market. But when there's a crash, and let's say something goes down 37% within a week, you know, our graduates would buy, but most people would absolutely panic and probably sell at the wrong time, you know, and then it just went all the way back up. It's like, oh man, you know. Yeah, the emotions, fear, greed. Yeah, definitely.
Sure. I mean, feel free to ask any questions about property or what it is that we're doing, because I want to ask. It's interesting. I know mostly, you know, you love cryptocurrency and you're well into that. Because how do you get over the fact that investing in stocks can like be a little bit boring, you know, because it's slow?
Do you think it's slow?
Yeah, I think it's slow.
What, is it slower than property?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
But what do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Because on an because if I want to trade, like the more I want to trade or the more money I want to make, the more time I'm going to have to put in. Investment, I can put for stocks, I can put very little time in, but then I got to wait, because, you know, I don't influence the value of the stock.
No.
I don't influence the value of the market. But in property, if I want to make some large chunks of money, because I love that, the monthly income from rent. I love that.
Yes.
I love cash flow. But if I want to make large lumps of money, I'm in control of the product I want to produce. So I can take something. I'll give you one example, one that we just sold, you know, less than a month ago, that we bought a property for 95K. So that's like, if I bought a stock and I want it to go up and sell it, or I'm selling short and I want to make money, I got to wait for something to happen. But I bought this property. Now I'm in control of forcing the appreciation. So I convert it, I change it, I add value to it.
Right. Okay.
And then a couple of weeks ago, it was like end of, where are we now? We're in October, November. We're in October still. In fact, we just got the money. Yeah. We sold it for 291K. And we spent about 30K on it.
Bollocks.
It's live on our website. It's live on YouTube.
92.
No, 95.
95. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. It's online. It's on land registry. It's on land registry. We
You
bought
added some value to it, which I think is like renovation and, liquor paint. And it sounds like you built an entire extension which doubled
no
the,
extension. No extension on this one. We turned it into a 5-bed HMO.
yeah.
And then the rental income was about 32,000 a year income.
Okay.
And then we sold it on auctions, and the videos online, it was so cool watching it in 10 minutes, just watching this property go. I was happy if we got 250 for it, and just watching it go up and up.
But
and
even
up.
250, that would have been, I think, a good result. But 300 and something, wow.
Yeah, for sure.
So you spent what? How much did you spend on the renovation and stuff? 30?
Yeah, about 35.
Okay, so 130. Wow. I mean, that's insane.
But we're in control of forcing the appreciation, and a lot of our strategy for aggressive growth in like capital income, reinvest, like to recycle money to put it back in. And by the way, it's an infinite return because none of our money is in any of the deals anymore.
Okay.
But another one which sold at the same auction straight after the other one was one we bought for like 180. And we converted it to a 6-bed HMO. That was about 36,000 income a year. And so an investor bought that as well for 350.
That's insane.
So what I like is I don't have to wait for the market to change.
No, that is good. Yeah, that is good.
And it's also like we can buy a piece of land, which we have done, and now I build a house on the land. Yeah. And again, I've forced the appreciation. So now I can refinance it, pull the money back out, or I can sell it.
I'm listening to that, right? And I'm thinking that is brilliant if you're going to do that. So for somebody who maybe isn't as motivated, doesn't want to do that work, maybe has a full-time job or just doesn't want to, but wants something, what we can do with the stock market is, we have to wait a little bit for it to move, for sure.
A little bit.
Say again?
A little bit. We have to wait a little.
Well, no, because if it depends. Like that's why I said, are we including cryptocurrencies? Because cryptocurrencies can move 10%, 20% in a day. There, once you have a movement. So, for example, it went from 1,000 per Bitcoin to 20,000. That's Bitcoin. That was the heaviest one. There were some that in that time went up 500,000%. And one even went up by 1,000,000%, but you're not likely to have been in that one, necessarily. So in cryptocurrencies, you do get mass movements like that. But I mean, that's just awesome. If you're a get up and go person and you actually want to start adding value to things, then for sure, it sounds like that's the strategy to do.
It is, but also I've built many businesses from scratch. And building teams, having employees, setting systems, buying offices, training the people and all of that stuff. And what I love that, and I'm going to continue to do that. I'm still doing that now. But what I love about property is it is the easiest business I've ever been in, because everything is already there. Everything is already there. The demand for the product is already there. So it's not like I have to test the market. The demand is already there. The teams are already there. So the solicitors, the brokers, the people who want to lend you the money, the investors, the banks, the builders, all of these people, they're already there.
I think you've created your kind of team, I think, because generally speaking, a lot of people out there, they don't want to do that. They don't want to build up a team. They don't want to start, going through this one solicitor who then is rubbish, and then you've got to get another solicitor. So without being negative about that, the positive thing about trading and investing is you don't need anybody. You just, the market has got to move, and sometimes you do have to wait, but sometimes you don't. We had a guy in his first trade, he made 42 grand within a week. But because the market happened to move, but you don't know when it's going to move. So that's one thing.
You don't know when it's going to move. And I don't know when the market in the property is going to go up, down, sideways. Are we in a bubble? Is it going to crash? Do they double every 10 years? I mean, what's happened in the past? Again.
Well, let's talk about that. So, for example, you just mentioned a crash, right? So, what happens when the property prices crash? Like, can you make money as the market goes down?
Jackpot.
Afterwards, but not during.
During when it goes crash. I mean, afterwards.
Because in trading and investing, and that is what really hooked me the first time when I listened to it on stage. was the fact that you can make money as the market goes down. In fact, you can make money much faster because everybody panic. You know, when it sells, this is what happened in March. So everybody sells, and because everybody sells, everybody sells, and because everybody sells, right? In the meantime, we're either doing we're shorting the market, making money as it goes down, or we're doing the value cost averaging strategy, and that's
which I like, and I've never been so excited. You know, I always used to be like, oh, it's gone up. Yes, it's going up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But now I'm like, you're going up. Wow. Go down. Down. Go down.
Yeah, go down. We're the only company whose, you know, clients are happy if it goes down. You know, we're weird. Yeah. It's awesome. I love it.
You know, last week it went up pretty, you know, it's good and some great returns, but on all the cryptos and coins and different things I purchased.
Yeah, last week cryptos. Well, this week actually cryptos was really good.
And I had a look at like my day where I say, right, this is where I spend my time. Let me look at things, and that's where I decide what to buy. And I was disappointed. I was like, yeah, I'm not buying anything right now. I don't need to.
You do have to wait. You do have to wait. Having said that, you can do different markets, right? The good thing is you can get a broker where literally, you know, you might have the Chinese market, which happens to be down, or the Vietnamese market, which happens to be down, while the US market is going up. By the way, I have no idea why the US market is going up. With everything that's happening outside there with businesses, right? We should be having the almightiest market crash ever, but because they're pumping, I mean, they just made another announcement. They're going to put another 1.5 trillion in. So in total, it's going to be 9 trillion. In other words, in 2020, they put more money in. I think in 2008 they put in 2 trillion, I think, which was a huge amount of money. They've already put 9 trillion in already. It's just insane.
Well, you bring up a good point, and actually, I was reading this the other day, so I'll quote the person I read it from, because for the people who are asking about, you know, do I invest in property or do I invest in stocks? Yeah, we got gold, silver, cryptos, all the rest of it. But you might know this person, you may have heard of him, because he said that the thing with real estate, it's real. You know, it's a real thing. With stocks, it's fake. I'm quoting Robert Kiyosaki. That's what he said. Yeah. He said it's fake and it's manipulated, and you know, this can happen, that can happen, and that's why he don't like it. I mean, that's what he said. You know, that being said,
no. Since you are quoting Robert Kiyosaki, you know what he is talking about right now. Well, that's all he's talking about. Get into gold, silver, but he means real.
Yeah, but owning.
He doesn't mean on the stock market, right? He means real. And guess what? What else?
People's money, he calls it.
Bitcoin. Yeah. Bitcoin. He is, and for Robert Kiyosaki, you know, he's quite a cantankerous guy, really. He's like, I don't like this, don't like that, you know. And like, for him to say Bitcoin, I just thought, wow, that's amazing. So he's just going around, you know, to everybody saying, you know, buy gold, buy some, but physical, not on the stock market, and Bitcoin, which obviously is a digital, non-real, you know, it's a digital currency. You know, for him to be saying that, and that's all he's talking about at the moment, which is incredible.
Yeah, which is also very interesting. Because I'm not sure if he talks about it in this. I think what he calls fake is the fact that it's just, you know, paper. It's just paper. It's just even the money that everyone works for. And he says, if you work for money, you know, these people the people who trade their time for the money, they are gonna suffer the most. And that's why he talks about the gap between the rich and the middle class and the poor people getting bigger. So
you've got to know how to grow your money. You can't just work for money. That is only a third of the equation. So there's the working for the money. Then there's the, what do you do with it? Do you invest it? Most people know. 99% of people, they don't invest in it. And then there's the tax. You know, so why would you work for all that? Why would you make all this and then give it all away? Yeah. And I think he's very clever when it comes to stuff like that.
Definitely. And he said it himself. He said, first on business, then on property. And that's why I pay no taxes. That's what he said. I didn't say that. I like to think, I'm the same business, then property. That's why I'm tax efficient. Not that I don't pay any taxes. But for the people who still have this question on their mind, you know, okay, building teams, I can trade by myself. I might have to know people. Well, so I want to just pose that question to the people of, actually, okay, so I do have to have other people if I don't want to physically do the work myself. And I just need to know enough of each section to just know that I know the person knows what they're talking about, the solicitor, the broker, the banker, the investor, the builders and all the rest of it. So actually I don't have to be, knee deep in technical, very, high level thing. I don't need to know about building regulations. I mean, the more I know, I'm sure it'll be useful for some people. But really, I just need to know that it is being pieced together and people are hitting deadlines and people are delivering what we agreed and the outcome is being achieved. So like in stocks, because I've been through the training and it did take me a while to figure out, working out this and this and this. So if I am by myself, I'm just wondering to help people decide, like, I know I can invest in property with other people's time, with other people's experience and other people's money, so I can have an infinite return straight away.
Yeah.
If I'm working by myself, can I still do that in trading? Can I do it with other people's money? I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, absolutely.
Way, but then it's like, how do I make that happen?
CFDs, so or spread betting, and then it's tax free. If looking at my traders over there, they're big into spread betting, just because of those words. Spread betting, it's got betting, and suddenly it comes under the jurisdiction of gambling, and therefore there's no tax to be paid. I mean, the guy here, my head trader here, Dennis, he now lives in the UK. He goes, I cannot believe spread betting is legal. It's like, I don't pay any tax. This is the best thing. I thought he moved here to be with us. It looks like he moved here just so he could do spread betting. You literally pay. And talking about leverage, you can. I mean, look. Think about this. On spread betting, you do £1 a point, £10 a point, £100 a point, £1,000 a point. So if you really know what you're doing, then you can make infinite returns.
So what about, okay, so if I have money in the beginning and I invest the money, or I trade the money, I make money, then I can take my money back out.
Yes.
And then it's infinite return after that.
Exactly.
But I've still got to learn how to do it as well.
You've got to learn how to do it. But I think that's the same with everything. I mean, to your point about your team, I guess, the first deal is probably the one where you get to know your team the most, right? And quite frankly, whether they do a good job or not is a little bit up to you, because how are you checking up? Because there's a difference between, I think, delegation and abdication. I think people go, oh, I was told that they'll do it, so they just abdicate, and then if something goes wrong, it's like, well, it's your fault. Well, no, come on, take responsibility, delegate, and you don't have to know everything in property. I think the first deal is the deal where you know whether your team is any good. No one's perfect. Work with them, help them. Sometimes they just need to know that you're on their back a little bit, just like a good manager. Because people are people, aren't they? If it's the crying baby syndrome in a way. If you're not phoning them up every week or every few days, then you're not the crying baby, and therefore they will work more on the projects of somebody who is, and then yours gets to the bottom of the pile. So the first deal, I'm assuming, is the one where you get to know whether your team is any good. After that, it'll just get better and better,
Sometimes they do the first one excellently, and then they get after that.
Yeah, but then again, that's a management. I think that's a management.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, what we say is, when we're teaching people, I don't want to teach people how to deal with things when everything is going perfectly. We want to teach people how to deal with things when, not if, when things go wrong.
Nice. I like that. I like that a lot.
Because that's ultimately where people are either going to make it or they're going to quit.
Yeah.
Because things will go wrong. I never tell anybody, it's just like X, Y, and Z. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we made endless mistakes. It's how do you still make lots of money while making mistakes? That's what I love about the property game. You can make mistake after mistake after mistake and still make money.
Yeah, no, that is good.
Yeah, as long as you do the principles of the due diligence. For people who want to go down to the exact day of the percentage and this is going to happen, they probably won't even make the move in the first place because they're still looking at their spreadsheet. Yeah,
definitely. I like that. So you do a lot of, I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of mindset teaching that you do, which is so important.
Oh, absolutely. Which I know is the same for you and the trading, because the technical aspect of the trading, I think once you get over the I don't know what I'm doing thing, and then you're actually like, well, this is pretty, simple. It's all about the mindset after that, in my opinion.
For sure. You know what I also like about the stock market is, like, my kids, they have everything. I started a pension, a SIP, a self-invested personal pension, when they were 3 months old, and a JISA, a junior ISA. So they're now 9 and 11 years old, and they each have over £100,000 in their trading accounts. Now, I'm not saying that they're doing it. I'm not saying that, okay? But they're now getting to the stage. The youngest person we ever had was 8 years old at one of our workshops. And he was Polish, and I think he was a bit brainy. But he understood everything. And he's just doing the simple VCA. He's not trying to do anything else, He doesn't have time. He's going to school and all of this kind of stuff. But I love that. I really love that. Because to start that at that age, to learn how to invest your money, it doesn't matter how many crashes come along. It really doesn't. They're always going to win because they've just got time on their side. If they're a little bit older, then you have to start doing trading. Then you have to get a little bit more active to try and generate more percentage returns. Yeah.
So just before we come to our final conclusion, I think it's a good opportunity for me to ask you right here, because what I've actually done is I set a foundation up for children. So it's a charity, and it's to provide real education. And my goal is to, in my quest of teaching and traveling and meeting awesome people, is to collate people that are willing to contribute towards that, provide education, real education though, like real education about investing, about money, about communication, relationships, mood levels, all of this, the real stuff that actually you need in life that nobody ever tells you anything about.
Yeah. What's the age group that you're targeting?
We don't have a specific age group right now, but like the aim is to build a school. We're starting as a foundation, it's a charity, but then it will be a school. So it will be, all levels. So we're going to be starting with like, the high end of primary school and the low end of secondary school to begin with, and then just spread out both ways, because I think that's where the magic is. And what we're actually doing, another beautiful benefit about property, is I'm building a team again to do a property for free. So we're going to do all of like the deals that I was telling you about, where we can force the appreciation, don't have to wait for the market to change. I don't think the children deserve to have to wait. We want to do it right now. Yeah.
What do you mean? They're young. They have time.
Yeah, but
they have to wait for years. They only have to wait for a few months.
But the real education, can you imagine some of the education that me and you have been privileged to receive? Yeah. If we had that when we were children, can you imagine?
Absolutely.
That's part of the goal, is to give them that insight as early as possible. So all of the profits, every single penny of the profits will go into the foundation. So
what profits? What profits from what? Sorry.
From the property deal. We're doing a property deal.
The property deal.
So yeah, we're probably going to do a few, but I want to force appreciation to make a large amount of capital income. The goal is to make £100,000 to inject into this foundation, and just start the process of real education. And I'll be looking for people all over the globe that have similar visions about wanting to help and give people real education. Because I think, what I mean, the education that we get is not serving 80% of the people.
It's a little bit outdated potentially. Yeah, it is a little bit outdated.
Yeah.
I remember like learning Latin, and oh man, I mean, it actually, sometimes when you're in churches and you there's some tombstones there, I can make out some of the words, so that's good.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to give you your uninterrupted conclusion of property versus stocks. So what's the conclusion?
My conclusion is that you should be looking to do both, and you should find out which one that you really enjoy. So if you really like property, you should definitely go for property. And just remember that there are different pillars of wealth. I think there's 5 in all. And property is, the one that most people do is career. And then the second one, they either do business or property. That's kind of the second and third one. But the one that's the most misunderstood, in my opinion, is trading and investing. I don't even want to call it the stock market, because people go, ooh, and they think, they think about volatility, which is what we love, is the volatility. Because the fact that you can make money when markets go down, and the fact that with the VCA strategy, with the one that you do, is it doesn't matter if it goes down, you will still make money in the end. It's just so powerful because anybody can do it regardless of sex, age, physical ability. So I think you should do both. And if you think that you like stocks, you should start off with stocks. But you should also do property. You shouldn't just do one thing. I don't think it's an either or. That would be my conclusion.
Awesome, thank you. So I think the conclusion hasn't changed much since we've spoken, because we've spoke about this topic for many times. But I think either or, both. My opinion is both. That's my conclusion. But what I would say, my conclusion is, because when I left school, I went into property. I was building. I actually just went to a place yesterday, same place, where now it's just like I'm visiting, watching projects versus actually doing the project, where I was on the tools doing it. And I was oblivious of what was going on. We were actually building HMOs. I built a 20-bedroom HMO. I was part of the team that did it when I was 15 years old. Yeah, and I was oblivious to the potential. So for me, whatever it is that you choose to do, one, the other, or both, you gotta get educated. You gotta have real, specific training on what it is, but also the business training, but the personal training as well, of how to actually run this thing. Because it is in my eyes, the people who are successful at it, it's like Robert Kiyosaki says, you're from employee or self-employed side of the quadrant. It's a different game on the business and investor side. So making that switch takes personal development, business understanding. So getting around the right people, the right culture, having that environment, the support. Because when things come up, when things don't go right, you're going to need to ask questions. And you're not asking Dave down the pub.
I agree. Because I think it's very rare to people, they say, oh, well, I'll just try it myself. Then you make it sound really simple. It's very rare. Of course there is one or two people, but very rare that you can just do it by yourself. I
would never want to do it by myself. And you're on the other side that learn how to do it. And then because they've been taught some very time-tested, beautiful formulas, maybe in their mind, they think they did it by themselves. So
but it's not just not learning what to do. And I think you said it when you said, you teach people what to do when things go bad, is we teach people what not to do, right? Through our 20 years of experience. By the way, don't do this. And they would never have thought, oh, I was going to do that. No, do not do that, because it'll cost you a lot of money, So I think that's part of the learning. I think most people forget. It's not teaching people just what to do. Teach them also what not to do. It's really important.
Well, from my own experience as a teacher and as a student, even then, they still do it. me included. You said, don't go outside of the formula, the 3-to-1 ratio. Don't go outside of that. And I was like, yeah, but I'm starting to make money now. So I want to make more money. And then one trade, boom, 6 months of profit gone.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta
but I think that's it. The conclusion is that we're gonna have different pillars of wealth.
Yes, definitely.
So, awesome to speak to you. Any questions, comments, please make sure that you do subscribe to this channel and ask any questions in here so that we can either answer them or do some more detailed videos on the subject. Or should I invest in property or should I invest in stocks? I think the answer is, at least for this conversation, both. And I
we do both. Why would you not do both?
Yeah, that's it. But this is a question people are asking, so we wanted to give the information so they can decide.
Don't put your eggs into one basket either, but don't have too many baskets either. Don't have 20 things that you're doing, but 2 or 3 is good.
So here's the test, Marcus. Anytime I do anything like this, there's always a test. So there's always a question. And funnily enough, there is only one answer to this question. So it's going to be funny to see if you get it. So what we say here in real life is, we say that you got to do the right thing for the right reason. Now, why is that?
You got to do the right thing for the right reason.
Yeah, why is that?
Why have you got to do the right thing for the right reason? Because is there any other way of doing it?
Okay, awesome. So editor, time out. Make sure you put the correct one in. Yeah. So we say do the right thing for the right reason because it's the only way to discover your true potential.
Oh,
That's
oh
the
my
saying.
God. You get everybody to say that.
Yeah, well, I always ask them and see if they get it or not. See if they've been watching video because I always say it. So are you ready?
No, I'm not. Say it again.
Because it's the only way to discover your true potential.
Okay, fine.
Okay, good. So here in real life, we have this saying that says,
Okay.
you got to do the right thing for the right reason. Now, why is that?
Because it's the only way to discover your true potential.
Yes, awesome. Good job. Thank you so much.